So, just to recap everything, the beginning of any engineering, what we talked about, of course, is to raise awareness and to develop yourself to be a better person. The thing is, I don't like to say a better person because there's so many people who think that what's wrong with me,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, like we can't just go up to them and say like you need to fix yourself, man. That's like an insult. so to so I just would like to refresh everyone's mind, also the listener who are listening in right now on 93.25 FM, about how you got into the inner engineering. So it's the floor is yours.
Yeah. So, I would like to just um, sum everything in this way. We are born in we are a generation that has almost everything, advanced in technology. We have electric cars, we have internet, we have all this thing about making your life the best that you ever been in like the last 500 years something. Like we are so much advanced, compared to any other creatures in the world. But if we turn around and looking at our life now, are we really like the happiest generation? Like you looking like, looking into to your friend, your family, or people that surrounded you, like are they really happy? I mean, you're getting sick all the time, physically, mentally, and that is just telling us something that we are not doing it right.
Hmm.
If we were to go in the, the right way, then why are we still not achieving, the happiness life that we
Yeah,
actually,
right.
yeah.
I'm gonna.
So inner engineering, it's a tool for you to really bring yourself to a deeper understanding about life, and to really like pay attention to the mechanism of who you are, like who you are really. What do you know about it? Like basically your body, your mind, your emotions,
Hmm.
pretty much these four basic things you know about yourself now.
Right.
So it's a tool for you to really like take it and make the life that you always wanted. Make yourself the way you want it to be, not getting dragged by outside circumstances or people or words or anything. Like this life is yours.
Hmm. Right.
Not choose to be living consciously and choose to be happy. You know.
Hmm. So
That
like,
I would.
so many things that we all can relate to. How would you tell people when they're ready or when they're not ready?
When they read well, like Sadhguru would say something like this. He would say, if you're willing, it will happen.
Hmm.
But everybody has different journey, or different background, whatever make them realize that that's
Right.
different.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree on that. I mean, I like how that phrase, because I always keep that in mind. When you're ready for something, it will happen to you.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't have
for
to
sure.
wait for it, right? It always
Yeah,
happened to you. So
yeah,
I prepared the rest of the question because obviously part one we didn't really finish it. So
yeah,
we'll run through basically all of it for our listener who's listening in on 93.25. Thank you for joining us, you guys. But here it is, and inner engineering. Okay, so we're gonna skip what it is and how did you get into it because you just spoke that already. And
yeah.
I guess the second question, just briefly run through it, is how it changed your lifestyle.
Yeah, so actually before I started my own business, and I thought, yeah, that's the way to be. I don't want to work for anybody. And my dad was just a lot of, stress and anxiety coming up, even more than I was like working for somebody.
Right.
So from that, I was like very I was being very strict with myself a lot. Like I was really taking it very serious,
Mm-hmm.
anything, especially about myself. And a lot of complaining, a lot of blaming. Why does it me? Why it's not other people faults? You know, like why it has to be me? Something like that. Throughout my journey, it has been a lot of that,
Mm-hmm.
and also like my mind was really like a hamster on steroids, kept going and going, come up with all this idea. I want to do this, I want to do that, but it's so many things. But I never done really
Mm-hmm.
accomplished anything. Like there was a lot of things going on, and I was really tired, like really tired of going through that mental madness
Yeah.
within myself all the time during that phase. And instead I think that's kind of like pushed me to like really do something differently. And then that's how I found inner engineering. So once I've done the program, um, it changed. Like the most obvious thing I noticed was it is for me to really like willing to help out other people, because before I felt that, I mean, it's not that I don't care to help out or anything. I mean, I just like normal, like I help if I can,
Right.
but it's not like, hey, I will put myself into do like volunteering activities.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Right after the program, I was like, man, I wanted to do volunteering. I don't
Yeah.
know how it happened, but that was the first thing. And then the second thing that is really like that like the significant
Mm-hmm.
change, I become more loving. All that complaining, blaming, and getting mad easily at like the little thing. It's just like it seems to like ridiculous. It's just nonsense. It's stupid to
Yeah.
to even like be
Right.
in that mode. And yeah, it's just like I notice it with people around me. Like you can feel, I could feel it within myself. Like I love just being me,
Mm-hmm.
just like really happy, and I feel everything just really cooperating well with me when I'm
Right.
in that person.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was a lot.
yeah, in a nutshell, I can relate to maybe 75% of the words that you just said. First of being angry, being like unaware of yourself. So whenever you get angry, and then your temperature. I like to say temperature just kind of rises, and that's like based on your anger, and then thoughts run into your mind, right? You keep thinking of the same thing. Like once I started, being aware of this type of thing, it actually makes sense because when you get angry, why do you continue to get angry? Because most people just get angry and then, we always say it's stupid. It's a waste of time being angry at
Yeah,
something, but we still get there. It's just that like we have to better understanding ourselves better. And like you said, Mango, these type of situation with inner engineering, you actually, observing yourself, become awareness of yourself, and um, we don't want to be angry all the time. That's called fixing yourself. So I'm not telling people that they have to be better at what they are right now. It's controversial. Now, don't get mad at me because I said get better, and you're good right now. Everyone's good right now, but you can always be better. Right. Okay. So in a nutshell, we have to be aware at our actions, especially when we get angry. All right. So the next one, um, right now, you just answered basically my other question, which was how it benefit you. So you started
yeah,
working, and I like to emphasize a little bit on the volunteer part. Like,
yeah.
what is volunteering by, just on your own words? Okay, like what's volunteering? Do you get anything back for volunteering, or what's going on?
Yeah, to explain volunteering, it has a deeper meaning, really.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but for someone to realize what volunteers mean, it will take many things for them to really realize that. But for me, volunteering is just to like give up myself totally.
Mm-hmm.
It's to just offer myself to whatever it is, even though I know that it's not going to produce anything, or even though I'm not going to get anything. Like it would just absolute releasing myself into whatever unknown, and be ready for it, be able to accept what it is, and be okay with it, even though it's gonna make me tired, it's going to make me like sad, or like get angry, emotional, disturbance, or whatever. Like, to be okay with all that. That is to me, just to giving up myself to
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very strong and powerful words you just said there. It's true about volunteering. It's not for everyone. You know, some people still think that their time is valuable. So if they are to do something for someone, right, they would want something in return. And with volunteering, the actual power of volunteering, like I have many friends teaching at school where I worked at, but also in their off time, they're volunteering singing at church every Sunday. So, you know, it's beautiful that they can do the things that they love doing, with it being like, oh, I'm gonna do this for absolutely free, you know. So it's different mindset when it comes to that, and you can't really have thrive that, okay, I'm volunteering, please give me something back, you know, expecting something back, just like, you know, one baht, for example, or a food or lunch. Then it's not volunteering, right? Yeah. So that's for volunteering, and we all know. So that questions about it, we're clear now. And in terms of your energy level, okay, let's talk about a little bit more about the situation at everyone's work. Okay, we all have different situation at work. Some people don't take words seriously. Some people take words too seriously. Like, if someone were able to say something about you, criticizing yourself, how do you maintain this type of, like, your energy level throughout the day, and not, you know, having it drop because one guy says something bad about you? Yeah.
Yeah, this is such a great question, because, you know, I think everybody's their entire life been going through this, and people struggling, people suffering from it. And it's, for me, before, it was something that it will hurt me, like it will ruin me the rest of my day. It will more than one day. It will be like, oh my, the last 7 day or something, it can last longer, if even more, you know, like impactful. But to be able to notice that, you know, the angry that when you hear somebody say it's bad thing about you, criticizing you, the moment I hear that, I feel there is like a separation. There's like this gap between me and the word they're saying, and it's like, you know, what the heck? It doesn't matter if whatever they say, because it's, you know, whatever people say is based on their experience and their understanding about you, but it has nothing to do with you at all. And what the hell did I, you know, taking my times and energies going through whatever they have to say, and be, you know, letting myself down, feeling bad about it. And that gap, to be able to see that and look at it, you know. And then usually now it's like, for me, when I feel really angry with, you know, whatever people have to say, now I will face that, like, completely. I will face a person, and then I would just clear it, like, right away, not just like, oh, I will, you know, like, work on myself, I'm not doing good, or, you know, like, it was never like that anymore. It's allowed me to really, like, confronting what I'm fearing.
Right.
Even though it's hurt me, you know, but like, I'm okay with being hurt. I get.
Yeah, you're okay. So is that the like, you know, the mental side of your thoughts, like the way you think, like you know that someone just hurt you, but you are so mentally tough that it doesn't affect you and affect your day?
That could be part of it, but still, you know, when we talk about inner engineering, it's not just you taking information and you implement it into your life. It's not like you read about something and now it's time to put it to a test to see, you know, how I will use it in my life. It's not just that. An inner engineering program that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
it has two part of it. It
Right.
has two parts. One is the basic of, you know, what inner engineering, the foundation, what inner engineering really is.
Right.
And also another one is the yogic practice, which
Mm-hmm.
is something that I can't really explain, but it will happen in, you know, in a way that it will alter, you know, your system. It will alter your body, how the chemistry, how it's behaved, and all that, which
Right.
beyond my understanding. But but what I can feel is something happened here, along with, you know, like you're taking that basic of inner engineering, you know, to be mentally tough and be able to see that you actually not good, you know, not being hurt. It's okay for them to say something about you, like.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, yeah, it's part of it. Like you can implement that, but you're gonna fall back. Like you're gonna fall back into your own
Right.
self again.
Right.
You need like a little acceleration. You need this
Mm-hmm.
practice to just kind of, you know, keeping you going forward.
Yeah. So like, I know many people, they kind of strive through their day by day, and it's like they're part of their living. So they live day by day, and like just let faith answer their the outcome, right? So let's say like, oh, there's something that they have to do, like for example, oh, I didn't finish my schoolwork, or I didn't finish my project, for example. And then they're like, okay, it's due tomorrow, what am I going to do now? Like they just let fate kind of override it, and then, you know, maybe they'll get lucky, they'll go to work or school, and the professor would be like, oh, don't worry about it, you know, we'll get the next one in. And then they're like, oh, I feel relieved now. And the way I see it, that fate is like telling you that maybe you're lucky, and you get to move on after. But what most people do, what I'm trying to say is, to be able to understand yourself and not repeating the same mistake, right? So let's say you're alert, and you have awareness of what you have to do today, but you don't have any responsibility to finish everything that you have done today. For someone like that, how would they better themselves into, you know, getting their mind like ready for this type of situation?
How would they getting ready their mind for this type of situation?
Yeah.
First of all, you know, like it's really hard for them to really get their mind ready, because their lifestyle, their entire life has been, you know, repeatedly doing this thing, this, you know, they think this is who they are. They think they're lucky. They think that they will get by. Like it's really hard to pull them out of that type of mentality. So if I would to suggest, or, you know, give an advice to the kids or whoever having this problems, I would say you start with like eat better, like, you know, make your body really healthy, and start, you know, being aware of yourself physically first. Start from something that you can touch, because mind is very airy. It's
Yeah.
out there. You can really feel it.
Right.
You can, I mean, like touch it, but you know, to work with the mind is very tricky. And so to start something, you know, with just, you know, be aware of your body, like getting yourself healthy, like just, and it will change really, like it will be like a big change if you can, like, you know, this mentality of taking care of yourself, that's the first step I think that people actually need to take.
Yeah, very sorry, well, very well answered. And these are the question that we asked before. We're just refreshing all the listener that's coming in. So again, thank you for tuning in to Relax Time Radio. I'm here with Mango and myself, DJ Rams, and we're talking about inner engineering, which of course some may improve their lives, and all the way up to their work, all the way up to their relationship, which we'll talk about that because we didn't really finish it. so so
Sorry to share last time.
yeah, we're about to share last time, but we didn't have enough time. But anyways, we will start as of right now, and the next question would be, will it improve my relationship? And like when we talk about relationship, it just so long. It's just many different subcategory as well. Fighting arguments, like all this losing energy. But let's talk about the general relationship, like the general better understanding of relationship. Like how does inner engineering plays a big part in all this?
Yeah, so I can say that it's not just general, like it's any relationship, because when you say relationship, it's what is it for you? What is relationship for you?
Relationship is actually, there's again different types of relationship. There's relationship between a boyfriend and girlfriend, and then there's relationship with family, your father, your mother. Perhaps you have a very bad past with your stepfather, and you're trying to better that relationship. You're trying to better that understanding between you and him, which I would have some question too, because one of my friend asked me about that, right? So let's talk about the love relationship with your boyfriend, girlfriend. How about that?
Yeah, definitely. But before we get into that, I wanted to say relationship is basically how you relate to the world. Like relationship is not just you and human being. It can be relationship with animal, with the world, with chairs, with anything. So you can have relationship with anything here.
Right.
So when we talk about inner engineering and relationship, this is something, in my experience, I can say that it will be like the most obvious thing that you can see within your life that it's get improved, because it's something that you're bringing in awareness within yourself. Like now you before it was kind of like dark and dim, your light wasn't really like have a full power batteries, but once you apply this, it's kind of like you cranked up the electricity, and it's like the light is shining through, and you can see better. You see how you are and who you have been and who you want it to be. It's like, so when it's come to relationship, one thing I said before about the benefit that I got from the program, it's I become more loving. And imagine if you have a loving people around you, even yourself, like don't even talk about people around you, like yourself being loving. Isn't that like a great thing to be?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You said it right. It's all about, understanding the love that you have for one another. Could be this chair behind me, could be this microphone, right? So, it's so weird when you say that, and I'm like, I can relate to a lot of things. Sometimes I'm so uncareful, and then I break some stuff, okay? But because I'm being uncareful, it means that I don't love it. I don't have a relationship with it. That's why I break it. But if I care for it so much, I would take care of it all the time, correct? So when we talk about in terms of like chairs, I take good care of my chair. I'm always cleaning it. But isn't that always the same for, relationship with human beings? A relationship with your dogs and your cats and whatever? It's the same thing, right? Once you care for it, you have the reaction of how you can, emits the love for one another. Correct?
Yeah, it's totally. Like when you talk about relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, especially, I think this is gonna be, whatever people are looking forward to hear. It's more like if you expect them to do something or to be someone for you, that's it. That's a relationship. It's going to be very suffering.
Yeah.
Once you realize that your love, like the love that you have for yourself, it's overflowing through your fingers, through your hairs,
right.
that much that they can feel it. Then the other person is the same way. That relationship is amazing. It's going to be blooming and then growing, into whatever wonderful experience.
Right.
For sure. You can It's both you can do that, but it's one person, it's a certain way, you are a certain way, and you expect them to, to fit perfectly. It's not going to happen.
Right.
And that's
Right.
what you need in engineering, to really see that,
Yeah.
hey, you are not just this piece of life that, being miserable, or like you don't need other people to fulfill you.
Yeah.
You're already whole and complete, and
Yeah.
you can radiate that
Mhm.
throughout, and then love will just come.
Yeah.
You don't go find it.
Yeah.
You don't even notice that relationships has already happened.
Mm-hmm. You could have said it better, but that's relationship for you, right? I mean, regardless of how difficult ones can go through a relationship and try to make it better, if
Yeah.
you don't have the understanding of how relationship work, then you can't get into making it better. It starts off with loving yourself first before you can start loving others. Now,
Yeah.
have a question from a friend
Yeah.
from overseas, right? He was just talking about because I actually was raised by a stepfather, and he became a stepfather himself because the woman he married already have children. So he became the stepfather, and he tried his best to just blend in as the actual dad. But he's thinking, hey, you know what? This can also relate to many people's in terms of topics, right? You're always having the same problem. Everyone's always having the same problem, and they go on and search, and then they find people who are sharing with their experience. So this is going to be different. This is going to be Mango is going to be letting us know about how you can convert your mind into a different thoughts without even stressing yourself, right? Perhaps when you learn to let things go. So to continue on, he said that he was asking me if I had ever hated my stepfather. And I said, why does your stepson do that to you? And he said that never. He actually loved me. It's just that I'm scared when it gets to the point where the relationship that we have right now, I'm just a stepfather. So when he said that to me, right, when he's asking me the question, it seems like he's not happy still, even though he's happily married, and he's raising the stepchild. But what makes him unhappy though? Is it the worry? Is it the anxiety? What do you think?
He's just not balanced within himself. Like, and everybody has this, but it just comes up, whenever, like, it depends on the situation. Really, like the need or the desire of wanting to be accepted or approval. It's there in everybody. It depends like which area of your life you wanted to pick it and take it, be a good reason for, hey, I want to be approval by my stepson or my girlfriend or parents or whatever.
Right.
We have this, and it's very common.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to approach this, I think, and I don't know if my answer will be like relevant or even helpful for him, but it's come down to the basic of, like, you see who you are first. Like, you turn around and look, like, why, like, he should be asking question, why do I need my stepson approval, even though, like, why would it so bad to be just a stepfather in the first place? Like, why would it so bad for him? And then start from that question, and you kind of go deeper. Okay, so like if you say stepdad is not a real dad, and so it means he wants to be a real dad, so why being a real dad is important for him? I would take the step like that. It's called like more like a self-inquiry.
Right.
You're trying to identify what is the root cause of this feeling that you are searching for, you're lacking. Yeah.
Right. So I think I couldn't even answer that, because I would just tell him that because he's trying to get that acceptance. But wouldn't you think that the acceptance would be the same for everyone else too? let's take off relationship for a second, okay? Let's take off like stepfather. Would you think that everything that we do, do we need an acceptance of someone else? Like, do we need the approval of someone else? Like, let's say this topic we're talking about right now. Do we need the approval of someone who's listening to us? Or do we just sit here and do what we like and do like give knowledge of what we know, and hopefully someone will listen and be happy about it? What do you think?
You know, like to me, it's no brainer for me because it's like what I've been through now, you know, with the search I've done, and my experience, it's just a no-brainer. I would say no. It's such a it's self-deception,
Right.
that you actually need approval of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But it's there as a human being of everybody. They needed this, because otherwise, you know, you come into to experience this life. You came from nothing. You don't have anything before, and you come here. You want to experience emotions, love, acceptance, whatever that, you know, come into existing, being here on earth as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of it. It's part of the journey. It's part of the life. And you know, for you to really understand something truly, you have to experience something that is opposite
Right.
for.
Yeah.
Like for accepting, for you to be able to realize that you are loved, you're so loving, and it's never been lost or, you know, disappear or anything. You have to go through, man, I was not loved, I need accepted, and all this like lies and, you know, like stories you have to tell yourself to keep up with all of this story throughout your life.
Must be stressful, huh?
Yeah, like you
The lies and the everything that you have to like tell yourself every time.
Really?
Yeah. You know, before I forget this question.
Yeah.
So actually, you know what, I did forget. So I'll move on to the next question. See, I wasn't aware of myself, for example. Okay, so now remember. Would you think that because in a relationship there's both sides, there's two sides to it, okay? There is the love and then there is the hate. One can think about only love, and love is happy. Love makes you feel happy. But hate makes you have anxiety, anger, stress, whatever you want to call it, okay? And one person would not get into a relationship because they only want love, but they don't want to feel the hate. They don't want to feel the, you know, like broken heart and all that, right? Like you mentioned earlier about you have to go out and try before you can experience, and let that be a faith, right? To just, you know, ask yourself who you really are. Sometimes an experience could spark that, you know, inner self of you. Like for example, you got brokenhearted, maybe now you're a better person than before, right? So would you recommend people to, like, how would you recommend people, like, let's say they're gonna get heartbroken, like what is the steps?
What is the step? First thing, establish yourself fully in, you know, in balance. Like you have to like work on yourself first. Don't go out and try to get another person involved and try to make it work. It doesn't work that way. You can't even fix yourself. Why you're trying to find another problem into your life by finding another person?
Right.
Fix yourself first. So you know, look into what is it that you're looking for within your life. Like what make you do this certain way? What make you treat people or think of people? Why all these conditions? So when you say love and hate, that is condition that you bring up into your relationship when we're talking about, you know, two people loving each other. They try to avoid the hate, but just only want the love, right? So why hate even comes up at the beginning if you already, you know, loving unconditionally?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the conditions
Right.
there?
Right. So that's
You,
it. That's it right there. Like you couldn't said it better. So if you're listening in right now, 93.25 FM, you're wondering about love and hate, right? It's all about the unconditional love according to Kun Mango Arisara. Unconditional love will get you a long way, just as you mentioned. Also, when you're not expecting anything back, that's the true love that you can give to someone, and without even having heartbroken or anything, right?
yeah, like unconditional love, it's a deep topic, and it's not, you know, going to happen by just like, oh, I have unconditional love. It's not like that. You try and you tell me.
It's so difficult, right?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not
Right.
easy, and it takes time to even come to that realization. It's, you know, like you have to be the Buddha, or, you
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah,
like
right. The
that kind of
priest.
level to really experience unconditional love. Now, daily life, as you and me, or, you know, walking on the street, just like this. No,
Hmm.
everything is conditioned.
Hmm. Yeah. When we talk about volunteers, that's conditioned too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Not
true.
like,
So
yeah,
true.
but it's not that you can't be in that level, or, you
Hmm.
know, position, but by working yourself, you'll get there for
Right.
sure.
Right.
And the way to do that is to go inner, not like going outward and
Right.
you know, trying to see what outside around you, people or
Hmm.
whatever can do. No, it's
Right.
here, going inward, understanding about yourself.
Yeah. So that basically covers the next question as well, and is very well answered. It's basically how does inner engineering make us feel different, especially at work, at play, at relationship, at home with your family, and all that. So we trying to cover every single topic to make all the listener feel how different it is to actually be aware of certain things that you're doing, and also with inner engineering, if you practice more and more, you could actually get better at yourself. If you look at your old self, I look at my old self all the time, and I try to do things better. Like what's better? What is better? Like in your own word, like what is a better person in your own word? How about that? So we'll let listener um, hear about your own opinion about that.
A better person. You know, I never aim for a better person, really. To me, it's more of like growing and having connection within myself and to who I really am.
Mm-hmm.
My experience so far has it showed me that whatever I know about myself, it's not true. It's so much lie I told myself, and to even become a better person, that's a lie too, to me.
Right, right.
Like, I'm just like throwing away, you know, any assumption I thought I should be doing, or I should pursue, or I should search for, or I should look for, any of that. I just like totally now coming to um, just simply being and experience life the way that it is,
Mm-hmm.
but still, you know, being connected to who I am, like really feel the way, you know, with ease, and just not be bothered
Mm-hmm.
by outside things.
Yeah.
Like I'm whole here within myself. There's nothing else that can hurt me, or can disturb me, or can even, you know, cause any harm for me.
Mm-hmm.
Really, if here it's bound, it's here, it's whole, it's here, is absolutely
Right.
one with itself, you
Right.
know, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like that's totally doable for many people when they practice enough. Um, Also, I still think that with everything that we talked about until now,
Mhm.
I see I see the word noise coming into play. Like we are trying to understand ourselves, right? So when we try to better understanding ourselves, we kind of see many mistakes that we made, but then we kind of forgive ourselves and love ourselves more, right? And then we kind of tell ourselves that the reason why this happened is because of this. Perhaps let it go, and then you won't be as much anxiety or stressful as it is. And then we tell ourselves that these are the noises that we don't want to hear, which comes to the next question about balancing your emotion. I know many people have. I can't just say girls have more emotion than guys. Guys do have emotion, but they kind of doesn't really act it out. But
the brain is wired differently, actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
guys' brain is a certain way. The girl's brain is different way. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't really understand my brain, and I don't understand certain emotion that I get. So like, what can you explain why we have emotion first of all, for example?
Nobody ever asked me that question before.
I did. We're refreshing. So emotions.
Why do we have emotion? Like in the spiritual field, if you hearing the spiritual people talks about emotion, they will say emotion is energy in motion. Energy in motion, so meaning energy is going through, and it's caused certain sensation within the body. That pretty much what emotion is really. Like if you see this is what energy comes in, like you turn around and pay attention to the mechanism of who you are, of your body, minds, of emotions and energy.
Right.
You turn around, you look, and you will see emotion is just a type of sensation that's happening within your body.
Right.
And it gets stirred or it gets stimulated depending on different situation or whatever story you've been attached with. And so what like to balance your emotion, it's not that you don't have emotions when you start taking control or engineering your life the way you want it.
Right.
That you actually not affected by your emotion. You not get dragged by your emotion for the next 14 days or something. That's the key. I would say that's the key for you to really not being pulled or get affected by your emotion. So what balancing emotion it's not like you're trying to like, oh, don't show up. I don't want angry. I don't want sadness. I don't want, depression or whatever. Like it will still show up. Like you can't stop it because the situation or whatever happening throughout your life is causing it to happen.
Right.
And it's not your job to stop it from happening.
Right.
But it's your job to observe it and really paying attention to see if like, is that you really? Is emotions you? Or is emotion it's just something that is happening? It stay there for some time and it just disappears.
Yeah. So, and emotion, emotion of energy that's circling through our feelings. And I like how you say energy, because every emotions we all can feel it. We cry, we get angry, everybody feels it, right? So we this ball of energy that's going around us. Wow, that's I like how you clarify that. See that? I have to ask you for it because you're the professional one, right?
I'm not here. I'm not claiming I'm a professional, really. Like this is just from my experience, pure experience, and I could give credit to a lot of my teachers.
Right.
But still, like just by reading or watching or listening, it's not even like clear to me until like I actually see it happening within my life, like, you know,
Right.
my family, my relationships, my friends, or whatever is happening throughout my life. This is how I got the answer. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, you know, the listener can really relate it to this. But it's not an absolute answer, you know, right or
Right.
wrong.
Right.
It's just something that
Right.
I love to hear
Yeah.
if it's helpful for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? You explain it so that we understand why we feel this way.
Yeah.
Remember, like, when I listen to you, I just think, the other day I was angry, but that's probably because of, I let myself get angry. That's the thing. It's really
Yeah.
simple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, we also cover a lot of questions and also different subcategories, right? Like such as emotions, relationship, and also your surrounding. Now, the next thing I would like to cover before, we have about, oh my God, we have about 15 minutes. So let's hurry this fast. So let's talk about productivity now. So like
Yeah.
with inner engineering, do you think you can work your productivity so that it increases better? To have a better
What
productivity, basically.
you know, what do you think if you're bringing awareness within yourself, you are lit up from the inside. You are not a push start. You are self start now.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody have to tell you what to. You are just coming from the inside. You know that light is lit up from the inside. It's automatic.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think will happen to your light in terms of productivity?
Oh, it just boosts up. Like you do it, you go out and do it. Like if I wanted to clean the washroom, for example, do you think I used to have the light?
I mean, you. I mean, it depends. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you need a light to see. I have no idea. But you know, like for that to happen within someone, within whoever, it is it's not something that anybody can just come to that
Right.
because throughout like you look at the world like 99% of the people they're still caught up into their own misery and they can't even see that like they have this little tiny light kind of dimming but they don't even bother to just like try to make it blown up
Right. Right. Yeah.
and make their life a beautiful piece of
Yeah.
art of creations,
Mm-hmm.
right? So just to see that, like first notice that you have this thing, this light within yourself that you can actually this potential, there's tremendous potential that you can make it into. And not only like the productivities in work or whatever you wanted to do, business, whatever, study.
Mm-hmm.
It's applied to everything because it's the basic of who you are. It's the basic of life. It's something that everybody needs to discover.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Discovery. There we go.
Yeah.
Discovery within oneself. Couldn't say it better. I like it. Yeah. So the with this light thing, it reminds me of this other topic I was having with a few of my friends, and also, celebrities have the biggest voice, and whatever they talk, we always, oh, okay, follow, right? So you don't really have to follow all the celebrities because, again, when one's think, one's feel. So in terms of what we're talking, Kun Mango basically are telling us that you got to go out and discover yourself, discover that light in you if you have the drive for it. Like I really want to clean the washroom, but I'm just one, tired, two, lazy, three, just don't feel like it. These are the light that I want to dim, right?
Mhm.
And I just want to light up the I gotta go do it. So yeah, if I think like that, it's gonna be okay, right? The light's gonna boost up, right?
That it's really kind of hard. It's kind of hard to answer this one because first of all, when that whatever you just say, whatever you just said, those are excuses, and
Yeah.
excuses actually coming from it's coming from the mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that is really you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Despite of you like it or not, if it's required for you to do, once the light is lit up,
Mm-hmm.
you will do it no matter what you like it or not.
Right. And
That's
and
it's, yeah,
Mango, you mentioned about excuses.
yeah.
Now, how many, like, okay, I think we all have excuses when we do something. Um, why is it like that? Like, why do we always have excuses, regardless
Fear.
of doing something or we're making mistakes? We make up excuses to cover
So
ourselves, right?
it's so fear because you have to look into how, like all these excuses is a story you told yourself not to do it. So you fear something.
Right,
So
right.
like for example, your toilet cleaning story. So like for you might feel, I don't know, like what you like why do you want it to clean the toilet?
Well, first off, it's messy. No one's cleaned it. So,
Business.
I need to clean it, right? But I make up excuses, as in like I'm lazy, for example.
Yeah,
So
this is very very easy to just like conclude everything.
yeah.
Laziness is that word
Mm-hmm.
that people brings in as
Yeah.
an excuse. I'm just
Right.
lazy.
Right.
That's become someone's identity that they think they're lazy and that's limit them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
a limitation. All these excuses is actually the condition. It's a limitation you create around yourself to potentially experience something greater than what you are right now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Maybe cleaning the toilet is something greater is going to happen if you actually going to clean it.
Yeah. That's see. There you
Limiting
go.
yourself, into that boundary of these excuses.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so stay lazy or
Get up
break
and do
away
something. Yeah. Right.
to a new possibility.
Right. No, but that also answered the next question, which is if I'm if I'm lazy, will I be able to change the productivity? But that you just answered already, because lazy is an excuse. It's an excuse for you to have fear of whatever you're doing right now, and then you just try to avoid it because you feel lazy. So of course your productivity will increase if you take away all these excuses, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but you need that light to really see it.
Yes, the light. Right.
Yeah, that's the key. Like because for so regular people going through that
Right.
phase, right? It's really hard for them to see it.
Right.
They just caught up into making a living, taking care of my kids, or like going to school, making like $3,000 million business or whatever.
Right.
They
Right.
just caught up in that, and they just miss the biggest elephant in the room, pretty much.
All right. Last question, by the way, because it's 8:50 now. We have 10 more minutes left. This will be a long question. Okay, so let's say one is currently trying to achieve fulfillment in life, whichever one, like for example, relationships. Next thing you know, they're trying to achieve their position at work. They want to have a higher position, and they're trying to get through their school and get through it correctly without any noises coming in, and finally just having the best joy in life. Um, what kind, if they take this inner engineering better understanding, what kind of guarantee, or like how long would they have to go through it to actually achieve all these things? Now this will be like a long question for you, so I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you take the floor and just sit back and relax.
Before you give me the floor, I have a question to ask you back first.
Okay.
Like, so when you talk about guarantee, give me an example. Really, like, do you think there is really a guarantee in life?
Well, when I, okay, everybody, like, okay, even myself, or I'm saying most people who, when they pay for something or when they try to do something, okay, they are expecting certain things like success in return. So like if we ask someone to, when you're running, try putting on these shoes, and they're thinking, does that guarantee me to run better? That type of guarantee. Look, so if they are studying and just learning about inner engineering, like would it guarantee them, or would they rather go listen to someone else talk, like let's say a famous monk talk about how to better their lives, or the type of guarantee, this type of things that it's a small thing, but it just makes someone feel so secure about their future, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's you know, I can see where you're coming from, and I can see this happening everywhere. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I you know, applying to myself as well, looking for security,
Yeah,
looking for
right. Yeah, that's it.
guarantee in life.
Yeah,
But really, there is no freaking guarantee in anything. What we are trying to get, if you want a guarantee, is a lie you want to tell yourself. A lie that is secure, and things is going to be certain, is things is, you know, going to be as you expected. But but reality, is it going to be like that? You know, look around, think, you're always in an unknown. Like, you don't know, just accept it, don't
right.
try to pretend you know. And looking for a guarantee because you're just so lack of out of touch of who you are.
Right,
You always, you know, in fear and looking for security.
right.
And and there's nothing wrong with that at all, but it's just limited. It's very limited way of being and living. And you know, like, I know we want to wrap up about inner engineering, and you want to see if there is a guarantee, if they, you know, someone taking this program, and then, you know, it will, you know, better whatever aspect in their life.
Right.
Before I even say that that is a guarantee or not, or how long would it take, I mean, it's really depend. You know, like, the question is not like you're asking me this. You're asking me, you know, you have a product, right? You
Mm-hmm.
wanted to buy something, you have an expectation that it can do some benefit, 1, 2, 3, check mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're asking me, hey, how would that work for me? But most of the people never ask, how would I make it work? Because everything that you're trying to make yourself to be, like, you know, you get a program or some kind of product, you want it to do something within your life, right?
Right.
So it's all about your experience with that thing. So it's, you know, it's never the question of like how that thing can make you work, how that thing would make you work, but how would you make it work for you? That's I think that's a more profound question you should ask yourself.
Right.
And everybody has different journey, different, you know, different way of being. And I can't say how long would it take. I can only say for myself, which at this point, so I done in engineering in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 3 years.
Right.
Actually, yeah, so 18, yeah, 2 years now. And I can say that it did really change me. Like, for me to come here and speaking with you and having all this sharing knowledge, it's a surprise for me. Like, I don't know how I even
Got to this point, right?
yeah,
Like,
really,
how did I
like,
get here?
I know it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it was so much that I really wanted to share.
Right.
And then that's how we end up on the show together.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. I don't want people to miss it. I don't want people to miss the opportunity
Right.
that I have experienced.
Yeah. Okay, so to wrap up everything in 4 minutes, I would like to conclude that in engineering, you kind of have to experience it yourself. Now, this is really, really good for a lot of people listening to you, especially for myself. Now, there are so many life coach, we saw life coach out there, right? And then they just kind of direct you into the things that you should be focusing on without realizing that they're not, like, I want to be singing. I want to be a singer, but I can't sing. But you're like forcing me to go into this route. Oh, you should sing like this. Oh, you should sing like that. But without realizing that, hey, you know what? If you're awake, if you're aware of yourself, you would know that you're not good with singing. Try something else. You know, it's really simple. So you don't have to like be stressful that you can't sing, because maybe this is not the thing for you. Okay, maybe it's you can do a basic singing, but not professional singing. So I really like this talk because you have given a chance, for many people a chance to visualize about their inner self into that glow. Okay, they can do it if they have the willpower for it. And also with the study of inner engineering, you know, even just do a small research, you can just boom, oh, I get it now. I'm gonna search for it myself, more and more. And that's the beauty of being in a volunteering position as well, which we talked about earlier, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I have to thank you again, Mango Arisara, for, you know, having the part two. I know you're a very busy person, and to be able to take a time to come on the show. Not really on a show. I forgot to ask where you are, by the way.
Yeah, I'm in Singapore. This is where my dad lives.
Oh, right, right. So
From house.
yeah, a farmhouse. Are you having like peaceful mind, peaceful thought as well?
Yeah, nature. It's a great way to
Yeah,
access that. You know,
yeah,
like peace is always
right.
within. Sometimes, like, you know, within your nature, it's easy to
Mm-hmm.
access.
Yeah,
So
because
yeah,
because
here.
last week I had a guest who is the owner of Harley Davidson, and I asked him, because you know he stayed home the whole time with his wife and kids. Like, how do you feel? Like he feel so refreshed. So I'm gonna leave you with the last question for our listener on 93.25. How is it now that you're, you know, getting a hang of being with your parents? Because I know COVID-19, we might have a wave two. You never know, but do you feel good going home, or do you feel better going outside?
I feel good being here at home with
Right,
my dad.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Relationship counts, right?
yeah. It's never been this good. Really, it's never been this good for the
Right,
last 10 years. Sure. Yeah.
right. Okay, so thank you again for coming on the show, right? Hopefully, when you get back to Chiang Mai,
Yeah.
we can do a part three for another topic, I guess, right? But you'll be at the studio this time, because I would like you to be at the studio too.
Yeah, I would love to. And thank you for the invitation, an early invitation. I would love to. I will have something to go to Chiang Mai to taking care of. But
Right,
I will let you know. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but it will happen.
right. Okay, again, thank you, Kun Mango
All right. Thank
Arisara.
you
Take
very
care.
much.
And our
Bye.
listener, thank you for listening in. Take care
Thank
and have a good night.
you. สวัสดีค่ะ